Hey everyone, how are you doing today? I hope everybody's doing well. I hope you guys have had a great year. We're getting closer and closer to the end of the year. So it's time to start doing some New Year's readings. And in today's video, we are going to be doing a pick a card New Year's reading. The concept is pretty well known on YouTube. It's been going on this whole year. Everybody's been making pick a card reading videos. But if you're not familiar with the technique, you can find the timestamps in the description and in the comment section as well. And you can just skip to that part of the video where I explain the meaning of the card that you pick. So this is sort of an interactive reading type, if you will. And this is a new pouch that I received as a gift from one of my friends, Pedro. And this necklace, which I'm going to use as decoration in my videos, is also from him. So thank you, Pedro. And without much hesitation, let's jump into the reading as well. Okay. So, I'm going to be using the Mother Peace Tarot for this reading because I haven't used it in such a long time. And I'm feeling like there's some good knowledge and wisdom to be found in these cards. So, while I do the shuffling, I would like you to breathe in and breathe out slowly. Just getting ready for the reading, getting into the best mindset for it, slowing down a little bit, thinking about the year 2019. How has it been for you guys? If you'd like to leave a comment and share your experience, I'd love to hear it, because I feel like this has been an important year for a lot of people. It certainly has been for me, and one could even argue that this year is kind of a turning point for a lot of people. So if you had any challenges or any lessons this year that you'd like to share, please go ahead. All right. Oh, and if you hang around until the end of this video, there's going to be an added bonus, a little bit of just something extra that I thought of doing in this video that maybe you could benefit from. So if you're interested, watch the end of the video as well. So I'm just going to spread the cards like this. And I'm going to pick 4 cards, and in order to be able to find the card that resonates with you, I would like you to pick a number. We're going to have 4 cards, so it should be either 1, 2, 3, or 4. And when you've made your pick, I'm going to draw the card for your number. So decide which number you'd like to choose first and keep your mind focused on that number. So 1, 2, 3, or 4. All right, and I'm going to get started with 1. So here comes number 1. What's coming from number 1 in the upcoming year? What kind of energies, challenges, new perspectives you'll be encountering? Okay, number 1. This one is for number 2. Number 2. What's the new year gonna be like for number 2? All right, here we go. Number 3. What's the upcoming year of 2020 going to be like for number 3? All right. And finally, if you picked the number 4, let's see what the new year is going to bring. Oh, it's actually 2 cards. So if you picked 4, there's 2 cards for you. Okay, interesting. So now, if you'd like to, you can just go straight ahead to the description box or the comment section and find the corresponding timestamp so that you can listen to your reading. Okay. All right. If you picked number 1, your card is the Shaman of Cups. Okay. Can you see it clearly? All right. So, cups represent emotions. The Shaman of Cups is the master of emotions. He is in charge of his own emotional processes, and he knows everything about how these things unfold, how emotional processes and internal stories and developments affect our life, our ego, our mood, and all of that. he has a lot of wisdom in that area that makes him a powerful ruler, as he can be very manipulative if necessary, because he knows people so well. He knows himself and he knows other people as well. So when it comes to the upcoming year, it looks like there's a lot of that energy coming in. Learning about your own emotions, how they control you if you let them, how your mind and your soul can manipulate you if emotions take over. So the King of Cups is all about learning to navigate these waters of feelings, irrationality, the unexplainable, the dreams, the intuition that we all have. But not many of us can control. So the thing about the Shaman of Cups is that he's able to, in a very self-disciplined way, he's able to utilize these emotional processes and take advantage of them. So in the upcoming year, you are going to be learning about how you can do this. If you're struggling with conflicting, complicated, and hard to control emotions, this is a really good sign for you, because it means that you will reach a new level of maturation where you're able to be in charge of the ship, so to say. So to be in charge of where you're going and how you're reacting and how your life unfolds, instead of your feelings having a power over you that you cannot stand up against. So I guess, to put it simply, the dictatorship of the heart is over. That does not mean that you will turn into an unsympathetic, cold, careless person who's not able to empathize with others. Instead, it means that you will learn to have the last word in every argument that you have with yourself. So it's no longer your impulsive, emotional tendencies that shape the way your life looks. It's you taking control in a conscious way, and you being the captain. So even if you have been doing that for a while in your life, this card is definitely showing that there's room for improvement, and that you will access new levels of mastery when it comes to your emotional self-regulation. if you've picked number 2, let's see what the new year is going to bring for you. All right, so this is very interesting. We have the devil show up for you. And I hope that you can see the card clearly because it's interesting. It's an interesting interpretation of a very complicated and ambiguous card. The devil is a major arcana card. And as such, it represents profound movement in your life when you're almost like a puppet of the universe, if you know what I mean. It's when your personal will has less room. And I was just talking about this topic with my friend Pedro, and he told me that in his opinion, major arcana cards leave less room for free will. I don't necessarily agree with that because I think free will is always present, or it never is. It's either of those options. But there's certainly something intense about these cards that creates a storm of events that you cannot really get out of by choice. What you can make a choice of is how your perspective connects with those events. So anyway, the devil in this deck is most importantly about hierarchy and ego. So whenever the devil shows up, people get this intrinsic fear of something bad is about to happen. That's not necessarily true. To tell you something personal, this year, 2019, was the year of the devil for me, because this is the card I picked for myself. And this has been one of the best years of my life. And it wasn't easy. It was very challenging. And there was a lot of pain and suffering at certain times. But I have made amazing progress, I think, personally and spiritually. And that's something that the devil can do for you if you decide to listen to what the card is trying to tell you. Because the message here is that there's something that has a grip on you, an addiction, a perspective, a relationship, a job, something that has trapped you. And you've been in this trap for a long time. And this year is going to force you to face the situation. You cannot run away from this anymore. You'll have to own up to it. You'll have to either go deeper into this trap and get lost forever, or you will finally need to make the decision to leave and get out of it. And if you make the decision that you want to break free, the universe is going to support you wholeheartedly. Because the devil, interestingly enough, even though it's a card of tricky situations where you're trapped and you're a slave to a certain aspect of yourself, it's also the card of freedom. So this is your chance for freedom, but you need to know what you want from life in order to be able to find a new pathway forward. So this is basically a card, just to summarize. It's a card to let you know that it's time to give up some of those things that are your shackles spiritually. It's time to get rid of those things, and it's time to choose a new way forward, a new direction in life. And if you make the decision, everything is going to fall into place. So you don't have to actually manufacture opportunities for yourself. Once your intent is there, once your intention is to get out, the universe is going to help you. It's going to manifest these helping hands that will pull you out of the hole, of the trap that you put yourself into. So this is a unique opportunity, and I recommend that you make the best of it. If you picked number 3, your card is the 9 of Swords, which is quite an interesting image. I hope you can see it clearly. So, the 9 of Swords. The good news is that this is largely created by your mind and your way of thinking. So anything that you encounter on your journey in the upcoming year is going to be a byproduct of your anxieties, your lack of faith and confidence within yourself, or your doubts regarding your future and your abilities. Now, it's good news in a way, because it means that the solution is really close by, because it's within your head, it's in your mind. And working on a change of perspective can actually change your life. It can change your actual physical, tangible circumstances. And what I mean by that is that the mind has this amazing ability to create in the physical reality what you expect. So your expectations in a way generate external reality, because perception is everything, and that's especially going to be true in your case. So if you want the world around you to change, you really have to change your perspective. And I know it's easier said than done, because there are certain mental and intellectual understandings and models of thinking that we acquire from our parents, from society, from culture. And it's really hard to say goodbye or to separate your individual understanding from those axioms of thinking. But there's a world of good that you can do for you and for your environment as well, if you decide to take actively good care of your mental health. And what I mean by actively is proactively. So do not wait for the shit to hit the fan. Do not wait for things to go so bad that your reality turns into a nightmare. Notice your thought patterns. Notice how they create events, situations, perceptions, and truths, or things that you perceive as truth. How about, and this is some really good advice that I have just recently heard, but it actually changed my mind about a lot of things, and it really saved my life as well. And I thought I would share it with you because I think it falls perfectly in line with what the Nine of Swords represents. And the advice is, if you're in a social situation and somebody, if you're like me, you can be a little bit paranoid and you think that everybody is making fun of you or people don't like you. This is social anxiety talking in your mind. And so every time somebody makes a comment or says something that can be interpreted either way, so it's kind of like a backhanded compliment or just something that you cannot really identify if this person was trying to be nice to you or mean to you. The best way to move forward is to consider it a positive comment and react as such. That's the absolute best strategy, because one, more often than not, people don't mean anything negative. They just have maybe a clumsy way of expressing themselves. Maybe they are shy and socially awkward themselves. Sometimes you can't tell. Maybe they are just tired and they are fumbling their words, or whatever the reason may be. Maybe they are just testing you to see how you would react if they make a little bit of a snarky comment. And if you comment them from a place of expecting praise, expecting a compliment, expecting positive reinforcement, that in return is going to perhaps make them think, because a lot of these things are not even conscious. It will change their energy and it will make them reinterpret their own words in a positive way. Because I've come to find that most of the time, people in general don't know why they are saying the things that they are saying. This happens very often, especially in small talk situations, in casual conversations when you're not trying to, do anything extraordinary. It's not like an intellectual effort. It's just chit chat. And people often don't know why they say the things that they say. And you can guide them and make them believe that their comment came from a place which maybe it didn't. Maybe it's just a random comment, but you can shape their perception to think that they were trying to be positive. So if you know what I mean, this is some sort of, it's a little bit manipulative maybe, but I think it's the best kind of manipulation, to manipulate people to be more positive. So you can certainly do that, and it's just a matter of training your brain to treat ambiguous social input as positive, just as a default. Obviously, there are certain things that you cannot deny that are personal attacks. So, for example, if somebody tells you to go to hell, straight up like that, there's no room for interpretation there. But maybe even with that, you can play around with it and make it out to be something else. But who knows? But there's a lot of those situations where it's not obvious what the other person meant. And then you can grab those situations and transform them into positives. And you can do this with many things, not just in social situations, but any sort of event or situation in life that where it's not clear if it's a positive or a negative. You can't just go ahead and by default try to turn it into a positive. So good luck to you. And if you picked number 4, you have 2 cards here. Interesting. You have the Hanged Man, but you also have, is this the Queen of Wands? Let me just check real quick. Because that would be an interesting combination. For sure. Well, it's the Page of Wands. It's not the Queen, it's the Page of Wands. But still, it's pretty interesting energy. So let me explain to you why. So the interesting dichotomy here is between the Hanged Man, which is a major arcana card, and it represents a sense of being stuck and being passive. And then we have the Page of Wands, which wands represent fire, and so there's this dynamic, fierce, vibrant energy, and in contrast we have the lack of movement and passivity that comes from the Hanged Man. So I'm seeing this as a sign that you need to pick your battles. There's certain things that you will not be able to get around to finish or solve this upcoming year, and that is going to be frustrating. You have a lot of plans, You have a lot going on in your mind and in your spirit. That's why we received 2 cards instead of 1. So you have a lot of energy, a lot of things that you want to accomplish, but limited resources and a limited amount of time. And the Hanged Man is telling me that there's a sacrifice that needs to be made here. You need to choose which projects and which tasks and which missions you want to invest your energy into in this upcoming year. Because otherwise, your energy is going to be all over the place. You're very creative. You're in a very creative phase of your life, and you have a lot to give. But the Page of Wands is someone who represents someone who is a bit inexperienced when it comes to self-fulfillment. The drive is there, the fire is there, the creativity is there, the imagination is there, but there's a lack of expertise. And as I said, there's also a lack of resources, meaning lack of money, lack of time, lack of whatever. So you need to make a wise choice, and it's best if you make it in the beginning of the year. So it's best to perhaps do a tarot reading on it, or just meditate on it, or make a list of pros and cons of which project deserves your attention. What should you be pouring all of your energy into? Because if you do not streamline your energy, it's going to be it's going to disperse and divert from what you really originally wanted to make happen. So you need to ask yourself to set a priority list. And if you have some energy left to do some of the things on further down on your list, then that's good. But you need to get ready to give certain things up. All right. So now that you have made it to the end of the video, as promised, I have a bonus for you, which is going to be a spiritual exercise. This is from Alejandro Jodorowsky, one of my favorite artists and tarot readers. And I found an article where he lists 7 different spiritual exercises. And I'd like you to now pick a number between 1 and 7. And I'm going to read out loud all of these 7 exercises. I used Google Translate to get the gist of each exercise. And whichever number you pick, there's going to be an exercise for you. And you can choose to do it, or you can choose to not do it, depending on, your comfort level, because some of these are really kind of advanced, but it's really up to you whether you want to or not. Okay, and the names of these exercises are also interesting. They can also give you a clue as to what you should be working on. So now I would like to ask you to pick your number 1 to 7. Okay. And I'm going to read you the numbers starting from 1. So if you picked 1, this exercise is called Development of Care. Take a coin and keep it in your hand the whole day without losing it. If you picked number 2, your exercise is called Return to Humility. Every half hour, wherever you are, whatever you do, focus your mind for 10 seconds on your own anus. Number 3, feel the objectivity. As soon as you wake up, look out the window or the door, and without paying attention to the words that fill your mind, stay still for an hour, looking towards the street. Number 4. Now this one is pretty advanced. I'm not sure if I could ever do it, but it's up to you. Gather beings you love and show yourself naked before them, making shameful movements. Number 5. Oh, and it was called Release from Looking. So I guess this is like shock therapy or immersion therapy for people with anxiety, social anxiety, for example. I don't think I could do it ever. Number 5, free from pride. If you have children, let them slap your face very hard. Number 6, learn to die and renegate. I'm not sure what that means. Go to a field, dig a hole, and have a friend bury you, leaving only your mouth and nose out. Stay buried as long as you can. Number 7, neither thank you or decrease. I'm not sure what that means. But the exercise itself is do not talk once a week if you are not asked something. So do not talk for a week unless you're being asked something. And when asked, tell the truth, absolutely. So I hope that you enjoy this video, and I hope that you are going to have an amazing new year. If you're interested in getting a reading from me, please follow the links below to my Patreon or my PayPal. Remember, this is the best time to get a New Year's reading. This is a once in a year chance, so don't miss it if you're interested in that kind of stuff. Thank you for watching, and see you in my next video.